Hello, I'm Kim, and this here is Pigeon, and Will is behind the computer running the show. Welcome to Pajama Yin Yoga. I see there are 5 of you tuned in right now. Thank you for joining me. For those who joined on time, I'll share a little, a little extra. I slept for a grand total of 1 hour and 35 minutes last night. And that wasn't even in one shot. Don't know why, my brain just didn't want to shut off. So hopefully tonight after Yin Yoga, I will be in a better position to sleep, and hopefully you will be as well. If you joined early and are foam rolling, feel free to continue to do so throughout the intro. You might also use this time to finish setting up. I won't be playing any music on my end of the camera, but you are welcome to on yours. I also recommend having lots of props for this. So I'm a big fan of having lots of soft, flexible props. Yoga mats work. I have blankets, and then towels also are a good option. Soft, thicker props, I've got these pillows, and then stiffer props. I've got the yoga blocks and the foam rollers, books, Tupperware work, and then other things, chairs, footstools, yoga balls, other fitness equipment. Anything you have around you might turn into a prop for you. And then you might also have like pet props or props for your pets as ways to keep them off of you. So whatever you need to get you set up for this. I really enjoy being able to offer this practice on YouTube, making it free and super available and accessible. Yet it's only possible for us to offer this for free for people who need it and want it, with active support from people who value this. And I'll talk about that at the end. Tonight we'll begin with a short movement flow followed by a seated meditation, and then we'll do 4 yin poses before final relaxation. You are always welcome to choose a substitution of a movement, an exercise, a meditation, and then there will always be transition time between the yin poses for movement or stillness of your choice. During this time, there is no right position or correct alignment of traditional poses because there is no force applied and there is no progression goal. This is a very personal, internal practice. For each yin posture, I will demonstrate some setups. I will begin with very minimal setups and minimal propping for you to feel suggested lines of fascial tension, that connective tissue. And then I will add variations in propping. While I demonstrate, that's your time to explore different positions and different propping. Even if you've done it many times before, or if you're brand new, use that time to try different things. Don't assume. And then after my demonstration, I'll return to a seated position so I can watch the time for 2 to 3 minutes. The position you land in for that 2 to 3 minutes should feel safe to release all muscular tension and holding while experiencing quiet sensations. We want to be still for the practice, and while you're still and observing that, and hopefully you've set yourself up in a safe position, it is of course always okay to move. And this is a great practice for making that assessment of, is this just uncomfortable and unfamiliar? Am I just feeling twitchy and anxious? Or is this a signal that my body is in harm's way and I need to move? It's a really delicate line, and this is a great time to practice being able to discern those more subtle sensations. This is a practice of patience, stillness, and subtlety. Let's begin. So, for our movement, I'm going to begin with both legs off to one side. So you might choose a tighter bend or more open, legs closer together or further apart. you might feel a little strain in the hips, just a gentle bit of pressure or stretch. Then we're going to place one hand on the ground away from your feet. And then we're going to take the opposite hand and thread it through the space between your hand and your body, or your standing arm and your body, twisting. And then open up and open your chest up towards the ceiling. And as you open your chest up to the ceiling, make sure not to scrunch the neck. You want to press into the ground, open the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then we're going to thread it through. Exhaling here. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, twisting closed. Inhaling, opening. Flowing at your own pace, on your own breath. You might change the breath rhythm. You might change the movement. Feeling a nice twisting motion through the torso and the shoulders. Taking another round or two. And then taking a brief moment. Regrounding the hand. I'm going to lift up onto my knees, grounding the front knee. Back knee might stay on the ground, or I might straighten that leg and then take the top hand and reach it up and over, getting a long side body stretch on the top side of my body. And then returning to the ground, nice and slow and controlled. Exhaling here. Inhaling and reaching and opening, lifting. Exhaling, lower with control. Inhale, reaching the ribs towards the ceiling. Exhaling, lowering, grounding. Flowing at your own pace. Taking another round or two. And whenever you're ready, transitioning to the other side. And before you transition, or as you transition, if you want to get out of the position and do something different, or stay in the leg position and explore some different movements. So as you set up your other side, whenever you're ready, you might notice that your hips are very different, and that's okay. Just set up in a slightly different way, whatever way you need. The angle of the feet might change, the angle of the knees. Just find a way that you can be with legs on one side. Plant the hand. Opposite hand threads through, twisting deeply. And then opening up, making sure that you press into the ground, squeeze the shoulder blades together, open the chest. And linking breath, inhaling, opening, exhaling, tightening. Taking another round or two. When you're ready, taking a brief transition before replanting at that wrist. First time not worrying about breath, simply making any adjustments. If you need to adjust where you place your hand. Finding the angle in which you feel nice long line of opening and stretch on the top side of your body. And then once you're ready, exhaling on the lower, inhaling to open towards the ceiling. Taking another round or two. And whenever you're ready, coming out. No rush. You want to do a couple more, or if you want to get out of the position. And then we'll get ready for our meditation. If you have a chair handy, feel free to sit in a chair just with your feet on the ground and a tall upright spine. If you're on the floor, you might sit with your legs extended in any variation. Or you might sit with the legs folded. Or you might sit with the legs crossed. If you are on the floor, I really suggest sitting on something. And you might sit on a couple blocks or a couple pillows or whatever you have, but just elevating your hips gives you a little more room for the knees and ankles. Make sure you have padding between you and the ground. You might even add extra pillows wherever it feels comfortable. And as you settle in, finding a comfortable seated position, one with minimal physical distraction. You can have the palms down, up, or clasped in the lap. Eyes can be closed or a soft, steady gaze on the floor in front of you. Re-arriving in this time, in this space. Mentally putting aside all the other aspects of your life, of this day. Re-arriving in your body. allowing yourself to observe what is there without needing to respond, to analyze. Bringing your awareness to your breath. Letting your attention be fully immersed in your breath. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Nod your chin towards your chest. And then opening your eyes and reintroducing movement, wiggling fingers. You might be in a hurry to unravel the legs, or you might just leave them be and move the upper body. Explore any movement that you feel is needed. Rolling feeling shoulders or neck. As you come out of your meditation, and this whole practice is, little snippets of meditation. Keep in mind that we'll always use your breath as a way to anchor your attention, but meditation is not about eliminating thoughts or eliminating sensations or only having good sensations or zero thoughts. It's simply not getting caught up in them, not being drawn into that distraction, into fidgeting in your body or in your mind. So using your breath as just a way to anchor you, to allow yourself not to follow those distractions. So I'll begin setting up for our first Yin posture. So, for our first Yin posture, if I were not using any other props, I would simply hang out here. And in this passive, fully passive, deep squat, we're looking for feeling lines of fascial tension through the sole of the foot, through the back of the ankle, possibly through the knees, through the glutes, along the spine, along the back of the neck, possibly up to the brow. The key is that we're feeling long lines of stretch, of sensation, and that we're feeling it in our connective tissue and not in our muscular working. So, with that said, you've got many options for setting up. So without any props, I can do sort of a narrow stance or a wide one. And then with some additional propping, in many cases, the heels don't touch the ground, and having the heels hover feels like too much pressure or feels unstable. So I can prop underneath the heels. In many cases, the hips, the weight of your own body into the hips is too much. So propping up, and it just depends on how high, but anything, it can even be a low stool or some sort of chair-like object. It can be higher, would be totally fine. Whatever helps you feel safe and still feel those lines of just tension, fascial tension. So that could be an option here. And then in some cases, feeling tippy forwards or backwards, and you can use any combination of props, but I might lean against my books or bookshelf so that I don't feel like I'm going to fall backwards. I could also turn around and fall forward. And in this case, leaving my heels up, but I'm feeling like some of my weight is propped up by my bookshelf. And then putting your arms wherever makes you feel comfortable and safe, so that you can be fully passive. Exploring the combination of positions and propping. Sometimes going into a place where you feel that sensation and then supporting yourself so that it's not too intense. And then settling into stillness. trusting yourself. Breathing release into all the places of chronic effort and holding. Always returning to your breath. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath. And you might use these breaths to savor where you have landed. You might use these breaths to help you come out slowly, experimenting different places. Engaging your body and reactivating your muscles. Taking any transition that calls to you, whether you look for something more active, or you can just find a comfortable seated position and in stillness observe the effects. Taking your time with your transition. And then I'll demonstrate our next yin posture. So with just some padding on the ground, I'm going to start from a face down position on the ground. And then I'm going to prop myself up with my forearms. And I might, if propping up close to my body feels too high, I'll come out and then relax my head. And we're looking to feel a gentle line of stretch sort of between the ribs in the abdomen. So not the chest, but lower than the upper chest. It's a much smaller area, but it's also an area that is filled with lots of connective tissue in the belly area. We're not looking to feel points of stress, particularly along the spine. So finding a setup that is gentle enough and supported enough. So depending on where you want to be, whether it's higher or lower, finding some support. So perhaps underneath the belly, perhaps underneath the forehead or the chin. If I was going for higher up, and in many cases, there is going to be some muscular effort, in this case in my hands and my arms. I'm going to lock out my elbows so that, because I am not doing that much strength, that I can lock out my elbows so that I can just rest into my bones a little bit, because I have the support underneath my belly, I have the support underneath my chin. Just using a tiny bit of my arms locked out to help me stay up so that I can be as relaxed as possible and really breathe and open up in the belly area. So finding any position that helps you feel there. So you might feel exploring whatever helps you get a little bit of stretch between the ribs. And then allowing yourself to breathe here. Simply observing the shifting sensations in this position. Letting breath and gravity do all the work. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Breathing in to those tight spaces. And then gently, when you're ready, removing any props, allowing yourself to come out and down. And you might just simply stay here. Allow yourself to rest in a neutral place. Or you might want to do some more active counter movement. Or you might choose to rest in just a different position. For our next yin posture, I'm going to need some sort of prop. And for this, I definitely like a firmer prop, but even a soft, small one can do. So I'm going to lie on my back with my knees bent and feet flat on the floor. I'm going to press my feet into the floor and squeeze my glutes together to lift my hips. And then I'm going to place my prop underneath my sacrum, my tailbone. The lowest possible point I can support myself. And I might just stay right here. What we're looking for is opening in the pelvis, in the front of the hips, possibly down to towards the knees. And then you have an option to do different things with your arms, which might also affect the front of your body. You might choose to change the position of your legs, straighter, more bent, wider, narrower. And of course, you can change the level of your prop. It's not better or worse. Higher doesn't mean more aggressive. Lower and simply a different leg or arm position might really be more intense for you than higher and bent. You've just got different options. So experimenting with the height of support underneath your tailbone, the leg position, and then the arm position. Ways to feel open in the front of the pelvis and expanding in either direction from there. Once you've found your spot, allowing yourself to feel fully supported by your props. With each breath, allowing yourself to melt into the floor, into your support. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Feeling your breath where you have landed in these new sensations, in new spaces. If your legs are straighter, make sure you bend them so that your feet are firmly on the floor. Then very mindfully engaging those muscles in the back of your body, pressing into the floor, squeezing the hips, lifting them up to release the prop. And then taking any transition that feels right for you, more active counter movement, or simply stillness. When you're ready, we'll do our last yin posture. For this, I'm going to start from my hands and knees, and I'm going to take one leg and bring my knee up towards my hands, placing the knee further up, angling my leg diagonally back, and then folding forward. Looking for feeling lines of fascial tension in the hip of the front leg primarily, especially in the folded forward position. If you're more upright, you might also feel the front of the hip in the rear leg. So that's the primary space that we're looking for. And the outer hip, possibly the inner thigh as well. You might have this leg angled steeply back, or you might choose to have the leg more kicked out. You might choose to have propping underneath the hip in any direction. At all sorts of heights. You might choose to lean one way or the other. You might choose to have the arms in a variety of positions. And once you've found that place that feels right for you, let go of all need to do or change, create. Breathe and simply watch what unfolds on its own. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. And when you're ready, coming out in your own way. You might explore this position where you've landed. Putting energy into the back leg, twisting, coming up partially halfway. Exploring entirely different positions, and of course, simply lying in a neutral place. No movement is necessary. When you're ready, we'll set up the other side. You know the side might need entirely different things, and that's okay. So if this side needs different propping, if it needs a different position for that front leg, if your torso ends up at a different angle, either up and down or side to side, totally fine. Find that position. Find the level of prop for hip, belly, chest, forehead, arms, back leg. Invent something entirely new. Settling into delicious stillness. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath. Using this breath to help you come out gently and slowly. Taking any transition that you need before our relaxation. So if you need some more vigorous movement, a little more engagement or strength, Oh, there we go. You can always just get into relaxation sooner. You might grab some props. You might prop underneath the knees or underneath the neck, or cover up in a blanket, or put something over the eyes. Getting yourself comfortable and supported. No stretch, no tension, no strain. Allowing yourself to say goodnight to each limb, each body part. And any time a thought arises, discomfort, allow your mind to feel soothed, rocked, caressed by the gentle rhythm of your breath, watching your breath flow in and out. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Use those breaths to help you gently come back to movement, Spreading fingers and toes, squeezing them into tight fists, rolling wrists and ankles, and stretching out long and big on the floor before curling tight into a ball, rolling to your side. From your side, using your arms to help you gently sit up. Coming to a comfortable seated position. We'll conclude with 3 breaths together. Together, we'll breathe in through the nose and then exhale audibly out the mouth. Together, inhale. In through the nose. One more. Thank you to the 5 of you who are here this evening, who joined me. YouTube just gives a number. I don't know who's on the other end of the camera at all, whether you're brand new or an old friend, or our family. It's always nice just to get a hello, to know who is here. You can pop into the live chat or wherever. And then we can only continue doing this service with people's active support if you value having this available to you and to everyone. And so there are 3 ways you can do that. One is just communicate. Email me. It's Kym@zested.net. Let me know what it was like. Tell me about your experience. Give me feedback, give me ideas, or just share what happened for you. It's incredibly helpful for me, and helps me know what's worth keeping going. You can also go to our website to join our email mailing list and follow us on social media on Instagram or Facebook. The second one is you can donate. You can do a one-time donation to paypal.me/zested. Even just $5, again, communicates your support, lets us know this is worthwhile for you. And then lastly, you can become a sustaining member through Patreon. Through patreon.com/zested for $10 a month. You become a sustaining member and you just help us keep this going. And you also get extra bonus videos. So last month we shared videos for sort of releasing the muscular tension, some self-massage techniques for the lower leg. And we also shared a behind the scenes video. Patreons, just let me know what else you want. What would be fun, what would be worthwhile, what would be helpful, whether it's other propping or poses or exercises or more pigeon. So thank you so much for your support. Hopefully we'll all sleep better tonight. And have a wonderful beginning of 2021. Thank you, Pigeon, for joining us. Have a peaceful night.